Schools use a lot of special words. Sometimes it feels like a secret code. Parents and teachers hear these terms in meetings and reports. It can be confusing. But knowing what these words mean helps us support every child. When we all understand, we can work together and make sure kids get what they need. Clear words mean better teamwork between home and school. We can focus on what children can do, not just their challenges. Using the right terms shows respect and helps everyone feel included. In this video, we'll explain some common words you'll hear in schools. Let's get started. Before we can provide any support, we first have to know that a child needs it. This is where identification, recognition come in. Identification is the overall process of finding out which children have special needs. It's like being a detective, looking for clues that a student might be struggling or might need a different kind of help to learn. Recognition is a key part of that bigger identification process. Recognition is the moment a parent or a teacher notices something. When a teacher sees that a child is having a lot of trouble with reading, even though they try very hard. When a parent notices that their child isn't developing speech as quickly as their peers. This is the first spark. Recognition is often informal and based on observation and intuition. It is a crucial first step because without someone recognizing a potential need, the formal process of getting help may never even begin. This leads us to screening. Screening is a more formal step that often follows recognition. It involves using simple, quick tests or checklists with a whole group of children like an entire class. The goal of screening is not to diagnose a problem, but to catch children who might be at risk. Think of it like the vision screening test that happens at school. The nurse quickly checks every child's eyes. This simple test doesn't diagnose a specific eye condition, but it flags the children who need to see an eye doctor for a more thorough checkup. So what happens after a child has been identified as having special needs? The goal is to provide them with an inclusive education. Inclusive education is a very important concept in modern schooling. Inclusive education means that all students, regardless of their needs, regardless of their abilities, regardless of their backgrounds, are welcomed and supported in the same general education classroom. It's not just about letting them in the door. It's about making sure they are truly part of the classroom community. The classroom changes and adapts to meet students' needs, rather than expecting students to change to fit the classroom. In a truly inclusive classroom, diversity is seen as a strength, not a problem. The teacher understands that everyone learns differently and plans lessons that can be accessed in multiple ways. Use visual aids for visual learners. Use hands-on activities for kinesthetic learners. Facilitate group discussions for auditory learners. A child with special needs isn't an extra burden. They are simply another learner in a diverse group. The teacher's job is to teach them all effectively. This approach benefits everyone, not just students with identified special needs. All children learn to work with and appreciate people with different abilities. Inclusive education is built on the idea of belonging. Create a school culture where every child feels safe, respected, and valued. This goes beyond academics. Include school plays. Include sports teams. Include lunchtime conversations. The focus is on participation and friendship. When a school commits to inclusive education, it sends a powerful message to its community. It says everyone belongs here, and everyone's contribution matters. It separates education from simply schooling. This is a big shift from older models where children with special needs were often sent away. Inclusive education is based on the principle that separate is not equal. Research shows inclusion often improves academic and social outcomes for students with special needs. Their peers also develop empathy, understanding, and leadership skills. It's a win-win, a richer, more compassionate, more effective learning environment for the whole school community. Now, it is very important to understand the difference between integration and inclusion because they sound similar but are quite different. Integration was an earlier step towards supporting students with special needs. In an integration model, a child with special needs is placed in a mainstream classroom, but the classroom itself doesn't really change. The child is expected to adapt and fit into the existing system as best they can. They might receive some extra help, perhaps from a teaching assistant, but the core teaching methods and classroom structure remain the same for everyone else. Think of it like this. Integration is about getting an invitation to the party. Inclusion is about being asked to dance. With integration, the child is physically present in the room, but they may not be socially or academically a part of what's going on. They might be working on a completely different task in a corner with their support worker. While it is better than being in a separate school, it can still lead to feelings of isolation. Inclusion, or what we now call inclusive education, goes much further. As we discussed, inclusion is about changing the system to welcome the child. The entire classroom environment is designed from the start to be flexible and supportive for all learners. The teacher uses a variety of teaching strategies that benefit everyone. The curriculum itself might be adapted so that the child with special needs is learning the same topic as their peers, but perhaps in a different way or with different goals. The child is not just in the room, they are an active, valued participant in the life of the classroom. The key difference is in the mindset. Integration asks, how can this child fit into our normal classroom? Inclusion asks, how can we change our classroom to fit the needs of this child and all our children? Integration is about location, while inclusion is about participation and belonging. The move from a goal of integration to a goal of inclusion represents a huge philosophical shift in education. It is a move from a one-size-fits-all approach to one that truly celebrates and accommodates the diversity of all learners, ensuring everyone has an equal opportunity to succeed. Finally, we have assessment. This is another word that can sound intimidating, but it is a vital part of the process. Assessment is simply the way we gather information to understand what a child knows, what they can do, and what they need help with. It's not just about tests and grades. Assessment is an ongoing process. A teacher assesses students every day by watching them work, listening to their answers in class, and looking at their daily assignments. This helps the teacher know if their lessons are working and what they need to teach next. It is a continuous loop of teaching, assessing, and planning. For a child with special needs, assessment is particularly important. It helps us find out their specific strengths and challenges in great detail. The results of an assessment will guide the creation of an individualized education program, or a similar plan, which sets out specific, achievable goals for the child and how the school will help them reach those goals. Understanding all these terms, when parents and teachers share this language, they can have more meaningful conversations. A parent can walk into a meeting with confidence, able to ask if the school is focusing on inclusion rather than just integration. This shared understanding builds a bridge between home and school, creating a strong partnership focused on the child's success, and to celebrate the unique potential within every single child. It helps us move the focus from what a child cannot do to what they can achieve with the right support, in the right environment, surrounded by people who understand and care.